Well, I am at the Old Royal Naval College in Greenwich, outside London. I'm next to the Cutty Sark, which at one point was one of the fastest ships in the world, an India tea clipper. I'm along the banks of the Thames. It is an exciting place to be, and yet a couple guesses as to why we are here. It's a cannon. We are here to talk about another Dardanelles gun, but this isn't the giant Dardanelles gun. This is just simply known as the Turkish gun here. But we can tell a lot about naval history and geopolitical history in general just from this gun. Now, the gun itself, the barrel itself, because like a lot of the other trophy guns, the carriage was built afterwards. This is a bronze gun, and you can see that beautiful coloration there. It was cast in the reign of Selim III, who was the Ottoman Sultan during the first half of the Napoleonic Wars. We can see his tukhra right there. And above it, we can see the etching done when it was restored. But it was a fairly large caliber gun, which means that this probably would have been used on a shore battery, and it would have been used to defend the approaches to the Dardanelles to Constantinople. Now, the most important thing about this carriage is, denotes where it was captured, because all around there'll be different battles that are commemorated that have nothing to do with the Ottoman Empire. But under there it says, this gun brought from the Dardanelles by Duckworth in 1807. Now, in 1807, Britain and the Ottoman Empire were in the middle of what we now call the Anglo-Turkish War. As we talked about in the Order of the Crescent video, under the influence of Sebastiani della Porta, the Ottomans were drifting back towards that old French alliance and away from Britain or Russia. And it was decided that the Dardanelles would be closed to all but French shipping, and Ottoman troops would move into Moldavia and Wallachia. So essentially, those moves were made to immediately declare war on Britain and Russia with the aid of the French. And the French, not these guns, but the French did bring some guns to support the Dardanelles, and Sebastiani della Porta helped build a lot of the fortifications in the Dardanelles to thwart the British advance, and it was actually successful, the defense. Duckworth's operation in the Dardanelles was not successful, but a number of the smaller islands in the Sea of Marmara were captured by Duckworth, and this is one of the cannons that was taken from the Ottoman positions. But ultimately, it was not successful. But it's an interesting gun nonetheless. Now, we see on the axle, the Dardanelles is noted. In the front here, the 1816 Algiers. Now, it's interesting they mentioned the Battle of Algiers under Pellew, because it's not part of the Napoleonic Wars. It takes place in 1816, and it's actually an Anglo-Dutch fleet that combines to bombard Algiers to bully the Dey of Algiers to release thousands of European slaves. And he was forced to sign a treaty against European slavery, and the end of slavery in Algeria actually wouldn't occur until the French conquest of Algeria in the 1830s. But it's very interesting that it's a non-Napoleonic battle on here. George III's cipher here, the Battle of Camperdown with Admiral Duncan, Trafalgar under Nelson, Copenhagen under Nelson, because the Danes they shouldn't be allowed to have a fleet. There are the crescents, and the back actually has Saint-Jean-d'Acre in 1840 under Admiral Stopford, and that is part of what's known as the Oriental Crisis of 1840. It was when the Egyptians under Muhammad Ali attacked the Ottomans. There was basically an Ottoman civil war, but they see it as an Egypt versus Turkey struggle. And it turns out in that crisis that most of the Allied powers, the British and the Russians, come in to help the Ottomans so that the Egyptians do not end up controlling the Ottoman Empire or fracturing the empire and sending the entire region into chaos, because that would be terrible if that would happen. Cape St. Vincent in 1797 under Admiral Jarvis, the Battle of the Nile under Nelson in 1798, the glorious 1st of June 1794 under Admiral Howe, and then we got another Georgian cipher, and we have the Ottoman crescent up here. It's an interesting gun, and I really like this one. This is a fascinating piece. Now, this was the Royal Naval Asylum. And that's what this stood outside for quite a while. But I'm glad it was saved. It's a great piece of history, and it's another interesting cannon that I'm glad I could share with you today. So let me know what's your favorite cannon? Did you like this cannon? And which cannon should I go attempt to visit next? I am Daryl Rivers, known in genteel circles as the Lord Rivers. What should be next on the docket of FTG, the Ministry for History? It should probably be another cannon. Thanks for watching.